right. Oh, welcome everybody. Welcome. We are here on the fifth episode of Two Voices, One Mic. I am your host, Tyler, and this is
Matt.
Matt, the other host, the second half, the better looking half of Two Voices, One Mic. It's a beautiful day so far in the voice world. What's new, Matt?
Just got another rejection email, which I was going to bring up. You should definitely be prepared for those. They happen.
Oh, they're fun.
You don't always get a yes, but
No.
you have to persevere.
You know, I'm not going to lie, I just got one yesterday on a really big project that I was really looking forward to doing, but what are you going to do?
You keep going. You pick yourself up, and you keep going.
I don't know if you're familiar with the law of averages, but that's basically what it boils down to.
100%, yeah.
Get through the nose. Because
You're
every
going to hit a
nose.
yes eventually.
Exactly. This is also a decent motto to have in the dating world, I'm hearing. Oh, you that laugh. This was too good. Anyway. Oh, I'm having too much fun with this.
Nothing better than canned laughter,
Absolutely. Yeah, so been grinding this week.
Yeah, I was going to say, you just finished, like 8 chapters today?
So in the past 24 hours, I have done 15 chapters that were about a half hour a pop. Because I just wanted to get this book done.
That's at least 30 hours.
Yeah, I have no sleep schedule right now. It's not healthy. It's not, but what are you going to do? We got to get it done. I am going to drop the book here, though. Shameless plug on it. It's called Mason, The Highlander Chronicles, Book 2, by Tony Good. She's great. She and I have been collaborating on this. There's some talk about the books. But it is officially in for review now, and so that means in about 2 weeks it'll be live on Audible, everybody. Boop, 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 boop.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be awesome.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was weird. Your audio went out and then it came back. It was weird.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've been
but it's
debating
working now.
switching to my other mic for these podcasts now. So
It's working now.
that's good because live audio issues suck. I remember one time I got one of our, it's called a lap mic for lapel. It's the little teeny mics that go right here and the people talking to. We had one go dead during a live show that we were doing on TV. And I will never, ever forget the guy that was running everything. He screamed. He threw a fit. He ripped his headset off. He threw it across the studio. He was swearing at me. God damn it, Tyler! And even the clients were looking around being like, oh, what in the heck? And yeah, you don't want to have live issues.
What a prima donna, though.
Uh-huh.
It's dude, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Sit back and yes, it was part of my plan. Yeah. Nah.
Mr. Burns it up excellent.
It was not exactly a high point in the production career.
No,
But-
I'd say not.
Yeah, I don't have to work for them anymore, at least. And here's to you, Brent. You know who you are. Anyway.
Yeah, fuck you, Brent. This is the first time I've used the F-bomb on this podcast here.
Shame on you.
Sorry, Brent.
My mother's
I'm not
watching.
sorry, Brent. I'm sorry to everybody that had to hear me say that.
Yeah.
Brent, it's still, that statement stands.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so this week we kind of have been talking in the off season of the days between last episode and this one Kind of about inspiration, you know? Everybody's been talking about 2025 coming up. As long as you're staying out of the political conversation, there's a lot of hope going into 2025. And so there's a lot of new things coming in. Real quick, I mean, it's December 30th right now. What do you look forward to going into 2025, Matt?
This is going to divide our audience, but Trump being president.
Oh, I said as long as you stay out of the political conversation.
Oh, yeah, as long as you stay out. Yeah, never mind. Let's rewind that. What do I look for? It's going to get me every time. What do I look forward to? The same things, as long as I can still do the same things I'm doing now.
Yeah?
I will be happy.
You got any specific goals you're working on?
I'd like to lose a little weight and get a little more fit, you know?
I'd like you to lose a little more weight. It'd be easier to fit you in the camera frame.
I know.
Gone mad with power.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just
What
kidding,
about
man.
you? Any goals?
You know, I'm not gonna mess around with that resolutions train just because I have this friend and she's absolutely amazing. Her name's Tessa, and she's like saying, I don't like New Year's resolutions because it seems like something you just kind of are forced into. It's like the resolution in a court. So New Year's dreams. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff I'm working on in 25, you know. I too am going to lose a little weight because if I stood up, I'm getting kind of doughy.
Well, if I stood up, you'd be able to see that I'm wearing pajamas and then I'm wearing a button-up shirt. It's like those old school Zoom meetings during COVID, you know? I just feel super funny about it right now, to be honest. So I had to address it even though no one will see it. But
Oh, it's too good. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I want to get a lot more work done in terms of audiobook stuff. I'm going to transition away from royalty work, I think. I know we've been talking about this because it's a thing. What was it? Was it last week we were talking about it a little bit? How it's the ultimate poop shoot?
yeah, pretty much. I think it was last week or pretty much every week or every episode. Yeah, it really, for me, has like deflated my motivation. Because you put in all this work and then you make like 50 cents.
Total.
If that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be incredibly discouraging really fast. That's for damn.
Yes. And I told myself for the longest time, I'm like, I'm building a portfolio. I'm building, you know. But after like 8 books of not making any money, you're like, I think my portfolio is built enough. It's tall enough. It's the Great Wall of China now. Let's just let's only work for per finished hour or royalty share.
Plus.
Or royalty share plus.
I think it is kind of tricky too. I mean, I'm starting to do lots of research on the people I'm potentially working for before I even submit an audition these days. You know, like I'm not going to mess with anybody who's not promoting their book. I'm not going to be messing with people that aren't getting reviews for their stuff. I'm not messing with people who don't have a direction. You know, if we're going to, I go through this thing with authors after I get a deal where it's like, we'll sit down and we'll talk. You know, I want to talk about your characters. What's your vision? And if they don't really have a vision, it's kind of...
It's like off-putting. It's off-putting.
It's
disconcerting?
Disconcerting, that's it. Yeah, I was like, it makes me really worried because it's like, what, you just don't care? You just thought you would... And I get it. There's a lot of authors, like when I first started writing books too, you don't realize that writing that book and finishing all those revisions, getting it published, is just the beginning. So there's a lot of people with a lot of lessons to learn, but as professionals, we don't really have time to waste with those kind of people. I mean, like, I ain't trying to put people through school and be like, hey, here's how to get your book promoted and all that crap. So, yeah, nah. I think we're going to be doing a lot of per finished hour only work for the next little while, where Audible's concerned.
For the next, like, forever. Yeah, you have a couple books in print.
Yeah.
At least one.
Just the one right now. I should have a second one here in about another month or two. But
Nice. And how did you go about doing, like, obviously, like, at first you just start writing, but, like, how did you go about, like, getting it all together, printed, and all of that?
well, the first book. So I actually wrote like my first two books kind of at the same time. I was writing the first book's like a sci-fi novel, start of a series, and I knew kind of the story I wanted to tell, but I hadn't planned it all. I just started marching to Georgia like I was Ulysses S. Grant kind of a thing, you know. I was like, we're just going to get going and see what happens. And it wasn't until I got to about chapter 5 that I started being like, okay, I'm getting an idea for how I want this to look and how I want this to feel. And I started doing outlines and chapter structures and all this stuff, you know. So that one was kind of a work in progress and kind of evolved as we went. Whereas the book that I have in print right now, under my nom de plume, Milo Ross, is So I Slept with a Serial Killer. And that book was more a memoir style book, just kind of like a lightning bolt inspiration moment where I could take all of these experiences that I had and just start throwing them on paper. That book was start to finish complete in 6 months, which is just unparalleled.
Well, I mean, but
cool.
what are the steps as far as, like, who did you submit them? Like, how did you get it in actual paper form?
Oh God, that's
You
such
know?
it's such a, whoa. I mean, we talk about doing this job and doing like
Yeah.
audio work and voice work, and it gets wild pretty quick. But dude, being an author is daunting. It is such a struggle for them. Like, you get your book to the point where you're ready to publish it, and just to get it to where you're ready to publish it, you have gone through at least 4 sets of revisions to your entire book. You've gone through proofreading, you've gone through editing, you've gone through all this stuff, and then you have the choice to make. Do you want to self-publish? Do you want to go to the traditional route and go through a publisher? And if you want to go through a publisher, you got to find an agent. And if you want to find an agent, you got to filter through so much. It is overwhelming because there are tens of thousands of agents, and there are thousands of publishing companies, and there are random dudes on Facebook that are trying to hit you up from Nigeria saying, sign me up, I'm on Fiverr, I'll do your promotions. Don't work with Fiverr, people. Don't work with people from Fiverr. No, I mean, I'm not hating on the website. I'm just hating on the people that use it, because they're all, I swear it's just a bunch of randos from...
Just a bunch of Nigerian princes?
Whatever their thing is, they will just drive a bunch of people to your website, but they don't actually work on getting you any sales. They don't actually work on getting you real business. They're metrics that they measure. Well, yeah, I mean, you can literally pay a bot to do it, and you're fine. Like, but they only measure it on clicks. They don't measure it on sales. They don't measure it on the things that actually matter. So you have to avoid all this, dodge all this, find the right agent, do all this stuff. And then if you go the other route, you know, if you're self-publishing, there's a few routes, there's a few different people you can go with. A lot of people are going to think, I'm just going to publish on Amazon. That's what I did. And that, again, you go through this whole process. You design your cover art, you go through a bio, you do all this stuff that you're printing out and putting it together. And once you get that out, it still is just the beginning. Because now you got to go get reviews. You got to go get people to say that to read your book. You're pimping yourself out to podcasts and trying to find people that will read it and give you a decent review so that the algorithms will kick in on Amazon and start recommending your book. You're trying to get people to buy it. I think I've bought probably 20 copies of my book, and I've just been, just flinging them out there, just being like, read it. Just read it. Because at this point, it's like, whatever. Just have fun reading it.
But, like, you had to go to a publishing company, yeah? To have it
entertained the idea for the first one, yeah.
I mean, just, like, to have it all, like, on paper. Like, To have it all, instead of just like your handwritten, have it all typed up and bound and physical. You know what I
Amazon
mean?
actually makes that pretty easy.
Amazon
Amazon
does?
will, yep, you can self-publish through Amazon, and it's Kindle Unlimited technically, but Amazon owns that. It's KDP,
Yeah.
and you set up your stuff. You upload what's called an an EPUB, which is a file type, an electronic publisher's copy of your book, and then go through. You have to make sure the format's right so it doesn't look like crap, and then they actually handle the printing and the material side
Oh,
for
okay.
you.
Yeah.
So it's not like
Yeah.
I have like 10,000 copies of my book sitting around. I got a couple sitting over on my.
Yeah, like you said, you bought like 20, so hopefully you don't still have 20. But
I've sent out so many. It's actually kind of more fun at this point, just giving people the copies of it and be like, "Hey, read this because it's gonna melt your brain." Because
yeah,
that
no,
book is
I
just.
slept with a serial killer. That's pretty. It's an interesting
It's
title.
It's such a crazy book. It's nitty gritty. It's raw. It's real raw.
For some
but
reason,
it's,
it just like makes me think of Ted Bundy. I don't know why. Like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Well, you know,
what maybe like his harem wrote about him,
his harem.
or
Well,
fangirls. I don't know.
I will
Probably more
say
for like
this.
fangirls.
It's probably more of an Eileen Warnos kind of a situation than it would be a Ted Bundy situation. Just saying. I'm not trying to give away any spoilers, but it's crazy, man.
Speak to me like I'm Chris Watts. No, I'm just kidding.
Hold on a second. Who the heck is that?
No, you don't know? Oh shit.
Oh. Well then, okay. Never mind. Wow, that's messed up.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I knew we were going to be talking about inspirations today, but that is just the wrong direction.
No, yeah, we're definitely going off the rails here today.
We're off the rails a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, do a sound bite for fun, cause dang, dude.
Yeah, we're not sticking to anything, folks. We're going for it. Off the rails with Matt Ward. So, hire him for your next birthday party or live event. He provides scintillating conversation, excellent jokes, political humor. There are no topics that are off the table. So I get, getting back to the huge circle we've gone on, I get where authors are coming from, and I understand the challenges that they're facing. And I think in a lot of ways we, on the performing side at least, share a lot of similarities in terms of like, instead of agents, we're catering to authors. Instead, I mean, you can get an agent as a voice actor, and that's something that's coming up. Actually, in 10 days, yours truly is heading out to Laguna. We got a little tour of Warner Brothers Studios scheduled, so hopefully,
wow. Congrats.
I am looking forward to it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that sounds way fun.
Hoping we can land a contract or something out there. It'll be fun. Just want to get in front of somebody that'll listen to me talk for a little bit, and hopefully that'll work out nice. And if not, I'll just relax on the beach, which after the last year and a half, I could just...
Yeah, that sounds nice. The beach is nice.
Beach is lovely. Speaking of which, love those sunglasses. Those are beautiful.
Oh, muchas gracias, mi amigo.
You're aware you're wearing your sunglasses at night.
And inside.
And inside.
I wear my sunglasses inside. No, I'm just kidding. That's not how it goes.
I can't help myself. This is so much fun.
So I remember like I remember probably the first time I considered doing any sort of narration or voice acting was when I hate seeing my ring light in the reflection, so I'm going to take these off.
Oh yeah, that's what
I'm
that
not
is.
I'm not using ring lights, people. No one cares. So I was in night school because I was a terrible student. And instead of doing like the popcorn thing, like, hey, popcorn so and so while you're reading, I don't know, people my age
Yeah.
will probably remember that. You know, hey, popcorn Tyler, you read the next little bit, and popcorn Matt, blah, blah, blah. And yada, yada, yada. No, the teacher was like, hey, Matt, will you just read like the next page and a half for us? Because you have a nice reading voice. And I'm like, oh, sure. Yeah. And then the girl next to me is like, and I think I've told this story before, but that's okay. The girl next to me is like, you really do? And I'm like, I would get your number, but you're dating one of my friends. But all I did was to pay attention to punctuation. Really, it's
You know, it
not
melts
that
your brain
difficult.
how many people don't.
Yeah,
You know?
and I've always
It's,
like told myself like, because I grew up in a religious household, um, and I remember having like talks in front of people, in front of a mass amount of people, and a massive amount of people,
so,
and
so like more than 3.
yeah, so it's more than a few and more than several. And I would just tell myself, if I mess up, then I'll be more embarrassed. And that's how I did everything, like acting and the reading in front of class and the talks and whatever. So that's kind of that. Plus, I had all the equipment. That's what got me into the narration and voice acting world.
Was there anybody that you looked up to in terms of like performers or actors or anything like that?
So I love Mr. Ballin for one. Like, who doesn't? He has like 6 gazillion subscribers. Mr. Ballin is awesome. And Let's Read, he's really good as well. Let's Read, he doesn't do the video part of it. Like, I don't know what he looks like, but the way that he reads and narrates is just really pleasant.
That's cool. That's rad. You know, I can't think of many like YouTubers or anything like that that I personally look up to in terms of performing. But then again, I'm usually the one putting the things online. I don't chase them around. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, since we were talking Mr. Ballin, those boys over at Bedtime Stories are pretty fun.
Yeah, and they're part of the Ballin umbrella, right?
They're on the Ballin.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He started in 2020, and he started putting out like 5 episodes a week, man.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. He was grinding for a long time, and then once he hit like 4 million followers, he's like, okay, I'm just going to do one a week, which is, that's respectable. But he talked about times he was like sleeping in his studio.
You know, I think there's something important there. There's a lesson for everybody. It does come down to the amount of effort that you're putting into things. You know, it always starts out so rocky and so small, and sometimes it gets really heavy, and you feel overwhelmed, and you feel like you're never gonna make it. Just keep going. Kind of circles
keep
back.
swimming. Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
Except everyone hates Ellen now. Sorry.
I mean,
Another political thing. Sorry.
I don't
should
know
stop
if
being
it's
so political.
You really should. You're gonna get us in trouble,
I mean, they get us canceled.
or worse, expelled. Or even worse than that, you'll get us elected. Then we'll be in trouble.
I'll be in real trouble. Huh?
If that's the case, you're going to get yourself elected, and I'm just going to be back here pumping out satire. That's where I'll be at.
Yes.
Come to think of it, though, I did do VOGs for Donald Trump Jr. one time. That guy cannot hit a cue. I'm going to just throw it out there. With actually, for our listeners, if you don't know what a VOG is, it stands for Voice of God. You are the person that comes over the loudspeaker at like an event or something like that, and you're just like, "Thank you, everyone. The event will begin in 5 minutes. Please finish your drinks and sit down, or we'll make you," or whatever the heck you say.
Well, I was actually going to ask what a VOG is, so I'm glad you explained it.
Yeah, VOGs are actually really, really fun. I loved doing VOGs.
No, I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. I just did not know that was the acronym. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know it was the acronym for that. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Johnny Carson. That kind of stuff. That's VOGs. Yeah. Got a couple friends who do VOGs, and I would love to get into that more. But there's like all these endless little specialization routes that you can take in voice acting. You can do narration for books, you can do VOGs, you can do character voices, you can try to get into film and TV. You can read. One that people don't think about a lot is you can be the person that reads like instruction manuals and does instructions for like pharmaceuticals and stuff. You can read self-help books. You can do. There's so many things. And
yeah. Well, who are some that you look up to?
Well, I think a lot of my background is stuff that I loved growing up. Robin Williams was such a huge inspiration to me, just because I felt like he matched the kind of energy that I had all the time, where he's like jumping from this to that to this to that to this to that. I loved Robin Williams, and over time I just kind of started assimilating people voices, people that stood out to me. Like Michael Caine. I love doing Michael Caine's voice. I love how he stands out. Anybody that's a character that stands out, I love doing it, and I'm a huge fan. Audiobook wise, there is a guy called Stephen Pacey, and he does work with a lot of people, but most notably in my book, he works with Joe Abercrombie, who has this series out called The First Law, and it's on Audible, and it's amazing. Stephen Pacey is... I've probably listened to those books, and this is no exaggeration, at least 15 times a piece. There's 10 books in the series. They're all 24 hours long in terms of... And he's just... The guy does not miss a beat. He's incredible. His tone inflection is perfect. His characters feel effortless to him. Like, he doesn't have anyone that sounds forced. They all sound native. He's got so many different dialectics in his accents that he just blows me away.
And
he really does.
He keeps up with, like, say he has one character named Jack. Jack always sounds the same throughout the whole books.
Consistency, for sure.
Yeah, he has
absolutely
consistency. Are there sound effects? Like, are there?
No.
Like, no.
No.
Okay.
See, I think sound effects detract from the vocal performance.
Yeah.
I think any author that's going to be like, "Can you put a sound effect in?" And I've had them do it. I tell them flat out, no, because your people did not pay. They're not. This isn't a play. They're not going to the theater. They are paying to listen to your book, and they're paying to listen to me do it. So I will never do that. I do music. I will do music at the beginning and the end, because I feel like it promotes the mood and it helps the listener get into it, because it's all about the listener experience, right? So we're trying to pull them in, trying to get them involved in the story and ready. You got to set the tone, But yeah, I don't know. Unless
sound
it's
effects. Like,
no.
We'll throw them out the window and then make a window sound effect of closing. Just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
No,
if you guys
I don't do that either. I don't even do music. So.
Well, it's a significant amount of. I mean, if somebody wants to pay me to do it, sure, maybe.
Yeah.
I will still advise against it. But.
Well, yeah. It all depends on
the money in the project. Yeah. There's one audiobook that I have, because I have like a bazillion in my collection. There's one that's it's a quick little 4-hour blaster. It's from the Alien series, like the Ripley,
Oh, okay, like the
classic, the H.R. Geiger face
jump
hugging.
out of the yeah.
Yeah,
Haley.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that one does have some ambient sound effects and stuff like that, and I think that's pretty well done. But I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
They also have a male and a female voice in that one that I thought was pretty interesting. It would be kind of neat to do a production where you have like a book specifically, where you have another character, another actor to work with and bounce off of.
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. Because I've done books where it's like one chapter's from a male perspective and the other's from a female, and so for the female, I'll go a little bit higher in my voice and a little bit blah blah blah, and then for the male, I come down here blah 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 to give it like a little bit of dynamic, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even in this this Mason book I just did. I had to do 4 separate Scottish guys in the same chapter, all having a conversation with each other. And so you had Tobias, who is a bit little higher. He's up here, you know. He's the reasonable, smooth one. And you've got your main character of Mason, and he's right here. I wanted him to sound a bit more forceful, like the hero. And then, of course, there's Logan, who's clearly a brute. He's been drinking since he could pay straight. And then the last one you've got to talk about. He had to take his voice and do it a little stranger than the rest, make it a little bit more nasally so people could understand that. You know, so like you're bouncing back and forth in between these, all in the same, like, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, that's
okay.
difficult. That's difficult.
It is, but it's worth it, you know. And I'm trying to.
For sure, yeah.
I just want Stephen Pacey to be proud of me.
I just want him to answer my letters.
You know, I would probably pee my pants if he did. Be like, you know who I am. It'd be like Pirates of the Caribbean when freaking Bootstrap's dad comes out of the wall. You know my name. It'd be awesome. No, yeah, it's fun doing a lot of different characters. I mean, I've done some of the most fun stuff I think I've done voice acting wise has been actually doing plays with, because I remember I did this one play and we were all in the studio and there's like 10 different mics because there were a lot of us, but we were all standing each at our own mic, and you've got your script and you're reading from the script and everybody's in the same room. So and the lighting being like it was, and then everybody's just, it was just this incredibly intimate, I don't know. It was
It's
just
like an intimate feeling, yeah. Well, that you like share. There's it's like a vulnerability that you're all like putting out there, and being accepting of. I guess I don't know. It's a very hard thing to like to put into words. Yeah,
it is. It's difficult to articulate, and plus, I think there's this thing where when you haven't seen what someone's look like or what someone looks like, and you hear their voice, you kind of generate your own mental image of what they look like. But then to actually see them in real life, it's a different, you know, it's a different thing. You're like, wait, you look like that? What the? Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And then to see some of the voices people were coming up with, and then who they were, I was like, well, you're crazy. That's awesome. That's cool.
When was this? When was this play that you're talking about?
That play was back in 2017. I was with Metamorphosis Studios, and we were doing this thing. It was a different take on Death of a Salesman, but it was called Death of a Jazz Man, and it was pretty funny. It was just like this random. I don't know. It was a nonprofit that I was working with. I did another play with them called The Magical Muku Mask, and my friend Lita Neustetter, she hit me up about the project and was like, "Hey, you
Lita
can
Neustetter.
Neustetter, yeah.
Neustetter.
If you're listening to this, Lita, and I pronounced your name wrong, I don't know. I don't have an excuse. I'm sorry, but I still love you." But yeah,
It sounded correct to me.
Looks correct. Looks correct according to my German. But yeah, anyway, great project, fun stuff, good people.
That's
Can't
cool.
wait to do some more stuff like that.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, I thought I was like auditioning for like this movie role, like just barely. It
Mm-hmm.
was just like a webinar of like a sales pitch, and then like they give you a form to fill out, and it was like $100 right down now, and then like $30 a month from now on. And the second I saw that, because I was like in a big old Zoom meeting with like, I don't even know how many other people, I exited out. Like, no job should ever ask you to pay them before you get paid.
Yeah, that's not how it works. You work
Yeah.
jobs to get paid.
Yeah.
This is another thing I want to caution anybody listening to this about. If whether you're a writer or a performer, you do not pay your agent until they pay you. They make money when you make money. If anybody is trying to get you to be like, pay me to get you jobs, they're not a real agent. They're not professional. You have a period where you can actually try out real agents. You sign a deal with them, and it has a special clause in your contract saying, hey, we're going to try this relationship out, and if I don't like it, or if you suck at it, or if I decide for any reason I don't want you as my agent, we're done, and there's no penalties. So you guys check your paperwork. You make sure you're not getting the rough end of the stick on that. This is why it's important to have an attorney for everything in America, as well as, just taking the time to read the fine print. It's not like an Apple agreement where you can just agree to it and give them your soul. Because there's people out there, they will take advantage of you. And that's lame. Nobody wants to devote all this time and effort and talent into a project and pour their soul into it and not get anything out of it. Screw that noise.
Yeah, that's. It's like rating books for royalties.
Yeah, for authors that don't do any promotion.
Yeah, like.
It's the circle of life. I feel like
no.
we've been here before, Sam. Ugh. Yeah, so inspirations are important. But you got to be careful with where you're putting your talent.
Yeah, you got to be inspired if you want to do anything. I mean, I remember when I was a busser, like I bussed tables, I cleaned tables, and just in the back of my head, I'm like, I'm going to be the best busser at this place. And I was like and I'm not going to name the place, but I was like giving myself inspiration, I guess. Mm-hmm. But like, you definitely need to know how to end a story, and I don't know how to end a story.
Best story you've ever told, right there. Yeah. I don't.
It's so good in a bad way, and so bad in a good way.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That happens to me so many times. I'll try and tell a funny story, and then I just don't know how to end the story.
This is why I used to have an app downloaded on my phone that was my own little soundboard, and I could put my own effects into my conversations. Wait until somebody got really boring and started doing the little cricket thing. Like, oh,
Where do we even go from there? I don't know.
Probably just home. Probably go collect my parking ticket from my car illegally here, and I'll just get out of here.
Yeah, I don't know if we can, leave on a better note than that.
This is true. And we're pretty much at time anyway. So,
Yeah.
real quick shout out though. We did just go live on Spotify. So, if you guys are catching this here on YouTube and you want to get us on the go and you're mobile and you have Spotify and YouTube doesn't work out for you as well, give us a follow there. Check the channel. Give us a listen. Again, everybody's more than welcome to comment here on our YouTube
please
channel,
do.
and Spotify. I think we just got TikTok set up too, didn't we?
Well, yeah, we have some TikToks. TikToks.
And that is at Two Voices, One Mic,
Exactly.
I believe. So, spelled like it sounds. So, yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in and listening again, hanging out with us here on Two Voices, One Mic. I'm Tyler. This is Matt.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week, yeah? Woo! Transition out, baby.